not really a government of national unity in my per se,
Yeah.
because like you're saying, it was supposed to be the first two parties that got the highest vote.
Not only
And
two,
yeah,
maybe
not
three or
only
four.
2, 3, 4, because
Yeah.
that's how it is described. It's supposed to be ANC, DA, MK, EFF.
EFF.
But then the DA say they don't want to work with the EFF and the MK party. Hence, seen we have what is being disguised as a government of national unity, which is actually a grand coalition between the DA and the ANC.
Yeah, but like I think like if maybe ANC wanted to have any sort of power in deciding whether there's gonna be a government of national unity, because this started because when the DA said they don't want the EFF to join the party, they announced the EFF as the number one enemy of the DA. So now, now when the ANC goes to the DA and says, okay, we are gonna make a collision.
Yeah.
We're planning on a GNU matter. You are the first people we're gonna go to. They already had in mind that the DA won't want to work with the EFF. Now the ANC didn't even go to the EFF, maybe saying, okay, yes, you guys. If they did, they heard what the EFF said.
But then if like I have to like step in, I would think maybe that happened because the DA got the second highest number of votes. So obviously, when you get the second highest number of votes, the first person, like the first party that's getting the highest, has to consider working with the second party, move from the second party to the third party. But the thing is, the DA, having not got the highest number of votes in the election, still went on to say, we're not getting inside this government of national unity if there is the EFF, if there is the MK.
But now you have a choice as the ANC saying, okay, this, when everybody looks at it with that guy, that guy who just came out of on Twitter, that racist guy.
Who, Steenhuisen?
No, not Steenhuisen.
Oh, Ronaldo goes.
That guy. So now when you see that, okay, this is a racist party, now you know that, okay, everybody, Helen Zille has a history. Now all the black people that were leaders of the DA just came out, all of them are coming out. You see that, okay, so this is a party that doesn't suit the black person. So now you as the ANC, when you fought for the struggle of the black person, it's your chance. Now the black person ain't happy. We are not happy with what the ANC has done for us since 1994. I was born in 1994. I'm 30 years old now, and I'm not impressed. Actually,
You're not happy with what's happening.
When I look at the unemployment rate, I'm not impressed. They should have done better. So now the first thing they do when they get a chance to, maybe our people are not happy. Okay, it's fine. So now we got a chance. This is the racist party that hates my people, the black president.
Sure.
The first thing, he has two parties, other parties apart from the DA that have majority votes. If he got the MK and the EFF, they over 60, over 70. So they now bossing again. And when you look at MK and you look at EFF, they all came out of the ANC.
Yeah, and mostly if you check at their policies don't differ that much to what the ANC believes in on paper. Because if you have to bear in mind that there's an ANC that is on paper and an ANC that is influenced by who the leader is. The ANC of Jacob Zuma is not the same as the ANC of Ramaphosa because of their funders. These two people have different funders, and their funders dictate as to where does the party go. If you check now with what's happening now, this grand coalition that we have between the ANC and the DA, it's mostly because of their funders. The same funders who are funding Ramaphosa, the same people who are funding the DA. It's not going to be so difficult for them to say, since you got 40, they got 20, combine and make one thing.
But then now the investors of the DA and the investors of the ANC are looking at these parties. They all have like different mandates, so they all want to achieve different things. But complete opposite, actually, in a way.
That's what I'm saying. Ramaphosa, when he joined politics, he found the ANC existing. He found the ANC having their own mandate. He just joined a party that was existing because of. Obviously, mostly because of his wealth, and then his popularity came second to the wealth.
Yeah.
And then now people were like, okay, who's going to stand in for the ANC? After Jacob Zuma, they were like, okay, let's bring back Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa was deputy president. Deputy deputy president, then later on he became president. Then after becoming president, what happened? That's when now we are starting selling SAA. Then SABC as well was in the process of getting sold. ESCOM as well is in the process of like being sold to a private stakeholder.
Yeah. So my G,
Yeah.
when you talk about that, who hired Pravin Gordhan?
I think Pravin Gordhan was under Jacob Zuma. But then mostly if you look at the ANC, it's you as a president, you do not have the final say in so many things. Yes, you do not
So
have
at the end is the investors who have the final say. They dictate your direction.
they
You know.
dictate
So
your direction.
so one really unfortunate discovery I discovered today.
You were still saying
About that
Pravin
nigga,
Gordhan
Pravin
being
Gordhan. Yeah.
I said Pravin Gordhan being there, he was representing the handlers of Ramaphosa. He was representing white monopoly capital.
Oh, really? No. So my biggest surprise about that nigga is that this guy. How do you sell a national? It's a national. It's
a state-owned
state-owned enterprise, a national pride. You know, when we get to Qatar, they know they're South Africa. They see our flag over there. And when we go to Italy, when you go to Rome, when you go to France, when you go to England, they see this is South African Airways. There's a country named South Africa, and that nigga he sells it for 51
like
rand.
there's British Airways. Imagine British Airways going for 51
Bro.
pounds.
So now, this guy. Matter of fact, who gave him the right?
Thing is, he was a minister of state-owned enterprise. So when you're a minister of state-owned enterprise, you oversee SABC, you oversee ESCOM, you oversee SAA.
Oh, really?
You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you're a minister, you have the authority to dictate what needs to happen and what mustn't happen. And if something isn't making money for the country, you can sell it at whatever amount you seem fit. That's what was happening around that time with SAA. When Pravin Gordhan was saying we're gonna sell it, he was just going to sell it to his own friends. And for the mere fact that he wanted to sell it for 51 rand, that tells you everything about the transaction.
Nah, man, I'm just thinking that this guy, he probably sell it to his friends and known friends. Once they own it, he probably had a share every month. He earns 50% of the profit.
Do. Off air, I was telling you that look at Tito Mbowene's portfolio.
Yeah, Tito.
Look at Ramaphosa's portfolio. Look at
so even Tito.
Even Tito who's always cooking
Tito
every day.
Man, no, Tito is my man, dog.
Tito
like what?
Mboweni.
So the reason I love Tito Mboweni is because he's an ambassador for weed, bro. First time.
First he's
time.
always high.
Yeah.
And cooking.
Yeah, so he's high in the munchies, I understand. But I like Tito Mboweni. He was an ambassador for like weed, bro. It's a natural herb, like it just grows there, and then now people are gonna arrest you for just trying to please yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tito.
But politically, the nigga is captured.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Tito Mboweni, Pravin Gordhan, Cyril Ramaphosa.
Well, with Pravin I know, and with Tito I know. Well, with Pravin it's obvious with this 51 rand.
Yeah.
And the economy, because it was once the Minister of Finance. Like, okay, so you see with me when it comes to the GNU or ANC.
Sure.
Me being a 94 guy, I wasn't really aware of a lot of things in Becky's time, in Nelson Mandela's time. But in Becky's time, I was kind of aware of a lot of things. I was aware that I was buying bread for like 6 rand. My uncle would send me a cigarette for 50 cents.
From 6 rand to how much?
Now it's like 14 rands, bro, 16 rands, even 18 rands.
15
One fucking bread, bro. One fucking bread. One fucking bread. Who would buy that for 16 rand now? That's times 3.
We're buying it.
No, bro. So economically, like, okay, so now when we come back to the GNU and this coalition, I think we're going back because now the ANC cannot make a decision without consulting the DA.
But that's not what the ANC is saying. On paper, they signed to that, but then when they come to the media, you know what they're saying? They are saying we can make certain decisions without consulting the DA because we are the majority within the GNU. We got the highest percentage. So we do not have to discuss with the DA who joins the GNU, who doesn't join the GNU. And the DA is saying we need to be consulted before anybody joins, before anybody gets anything. That's why there was a delay in the announcement of the cabinet. You know, we're supposed
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
the
yeah,
campaign
yeah,
announced
yeah.
a few days ago.
But what I understand is that so now if so if initially there's the DA and the ANC and the IFP, so now when we combine the DA and the IFP, did they have a higher vote in this GNU?
D and the IFP.
Or did they have higher votes
No,
than
they don't
ANC?
have, because they probably have less than 30. Because the DA has 20 something percent,
Mm,
and
the
then
IFP.
IFP has less than the EFF. So
Okay.
IFP has around 5, 4.
Yeah. So right now, but if they sign to it on the contract, if right now they're starting this GNU and they're arguing, they're debating, right?
Just at the start.
Just at the start. So when they get to parliament, they won't agree on the laws. Now I don't know who is doing this, who is holding like the currency, who's playing the markets, because right now the markets are happy.
Bro, there's a lady by the name of Maria Ramos. Do you know her?
No, bro, what does she do?
She's the wife to prior to that our former Minister of Finance. He was never a governor, Trevor Emmanuel. He was just Minister
I know
of
Trevor.
Finance.
Yeah, I know Trevor.
You know Trevor
Yeah, I
Emmanuel?
know Trevor.
Maria Ramos is the wife to Trevor Emmanuel.
Yeah, what does she
She
do?
used to be a CEO. I think she worked at ABSA, if I'm not mistaken. She also worked at other banks
Big
and all
banks
kind of
and
things.
stuff. Yeah.
Those people admitted to manipulating the rand at some point when Jacob Zuma was in power. So how is it that now, when the rand is busy giving in to the GNU, how
Bro.
sure are we that it's not those people again
Okay.
doing the same thing?
You know what I'm thinking? So now I want to take you back to this other document I found, and I think I had this guy Moponga. You know this Maponga.
I know the guy.
So now, I thought maybe the documents were false when I came across them, on social media. And then I had Maponga saying it that South Africa is a business registered in Washington DC.
On that one, I don't want to believe it. I saw it, but with what is registered there, with Julius Malema being
No, apart from
second-
Julius, apart from the names that are there,
Yeah,
Mara,
yeah.
the fact that there's a possibility if we check the USA exchange or whatnot.
I doubt, bro. I doubt.
Fact check.
That one's propaganda, man.
Like
That
okay,
one's
so
just propaganda.
when we
It's
saw
people-
the video,
it's
so
people,
when
it's people trying to mess up with people who do not know what happens in the stock exchange. It's
but can't you
like
check?
me,
Can't you
me,
check it?
I've checked it, but then there's no such thing when
There's
you
no
check. There's no
such-
such thing. It's just screenshot that people bring. How is it possible that you can register a whole company there, bro? But like, if you register a whole company there, what you're actually doing is you're saying all the businesses that are operating in SA you have to be dictated by the stock market of that company.
Yes.
Then they're no, and they're
But
not.
wait. But right now, if Rupert or because right now the when I saw the guy who was at the top was Oppenheimer, the guy at the bottom was like the Ruperts, and then whatever. When we talk about those two guys, right?
Yeah.
So if they because now. They gave Cyril Ramaphosa money to become president,
Sure.
and then like when you look at
But that was
wait
before.
wait
That was
Oppenheimer
before. That was before.
Oppenheimer owns 80 to 90% of everything here in terms of let's say true wealth.
Portfolio, yes.
His portfolio is that big. So he gets to dictate the type of food we eat. He gets to dictate the type of clothes we wear. So he gets to dictate the businesses here. So now if he's looking at South Africa as his business, right? Everything else is just mini businesses. How these businesses do, these small businesses, how his portfolio does, determines how his big business, how his company as South Africa does.
Yeah, but then
So
if
he
you-
can
if- but
he
then
can
if-
dictate what Ramaphosa does. He can dictate what Ramaphosa's law he sets in parliament
That's
and all
true,
that.
That's true, but then it cannot dictate Ramaphosa registering the company as a what do we call this thing? Where the company is registered on the U.S. stock exchange, those kind of things. There's that thing that doesn't exist. It's just something that was created out of nowhere, and then people are reading the document and they're believing the document that they're seeing, bro. That can never happen. Imagine you going to a stock exchange and then you see USA there. How's that possible?
No.
It's not possible, bro.
Wait. But I think because we have been colonized for so long, and then we don't have a lot of yeah, dog. We don't have a lot of let's just say we don't own the land. We don't own a lot of things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like whoever owns it has all the rights to do with their land what they wish to.
Okay. Yeah.
So now if these guys they're big moneyed, right? And then they sent this nigga Ramaphosa to school. Yeah. They made sure he gets closer to Nelson Mandela and all that stuff, right? So if they are able to dictate those things, Ramaphosa used to be in the Oppenheimer's house, used to chill there. So
even
now
Mandela used to be.
He used to chill there. So now,
house,
so now, if these guys they see your struggle, your poverty, they see how much you're struggling. When they bring you closer, they say, let me show you a brighter future, my guy. All you know is poverty your whole life. And then they're showing you a life you have never imagined. They bite it. So now when they bite it, now they're able to dictate. No, you know what? You see what's going on in your country. I will give you 20 million just to pollute, just to campaign. Are you on the side? I want you to see these other businesses. So they're dictating all that.
So obviously on that, I think we once spoke about something like that, where the Oppenheimers and the Ruperts are able to divide their wealth among. You have something in there.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
So we once spoke about it, and then we said, as much as the Oppenheimers are able to divide their wealth among their children, their grandchildren, their daughters, and sons,
political parties.
They are able to do what? Individually sponsor certain political parties. And if you are gonna get money from all the Ruperts, it doesn't matter whether it's the grandchild or the child or the son or the father or the mother. Thing is, those people believe in the same ideology.
Yeah, sure.
At the end of the day, all those parties have to behave in the way the Oppenheimers seem fit.
Yeah, sure.
So that's the same thing that's happening with the IFP. Same thing that's happening with the Rise of Mzansi. Same thing that's gonna happen with Action SA.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody who took money from the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers, they're gonna tell you, this is what you need to do. This is what you mustn't do. Once you go into the government of national unity, this is what we expect you to do. We don't expect you to expropriate the land without compensation. We don't expect you to nationalize the banks.
So right now, my nigga, this government of national unity ANC is talking about, it's not a government of national unity. It's a coalition, because right now, they're in partnership with the DA and the IFP. Everybody else is just being overfucker just to buy face, dog. Overfucker just to buy face.
Those people are just now being put into, like, okay, let's just try to make this thing like complicated and confusing, but we get it. Because that's what the ANC and the DA signed.
So the ANC and the ANC is all about propaganda, bro. So the aim is just to confuse the public. The ANC knows they're captured by the Oppenheimers or the Ruperts or whatever. They're captured by the investors. And then now, bro, it doesn't logically. What I looked at, what I seen from what came out of the ANC, it's all radical people. EFF was radical. MK is radical. It's all about feeding the black child. So now the ANC doesn't want to feed the black child now. No. So that's why they don't want to coincide with these people. Were like, no. EFF was like, no, you know what, guys? We'll join your power. We'll come together. But as long as you guys reconsider our things of just, because now USA has like a tax for the slaves, and there's a tax for the Israelites,
we spoke about it. We spoke about saying there are repercussions
for these things
that happened in Germany.
Yeah,
certain Jews were compensated a certain amount of money, and even today they're still getting something. But then now you come to South Africa, you're not getting anything for having your grandparents and grand.
And that thing in Germany, it didn't even happen for 100 years. Yeah. The people in the States, they're getting repercussions, but it was like maybe even over 500 years. Yeah. Here in South Africa, they came in here around 16 something. That's when the white man came, and it was like we didn't have a history before them. Sure. There were a whole lot of people existing in Africa, a whole lot of history, a whole lot of things being done. Now they come and then they delete all that history, and then they dictate everything, bro.
They're telling us how we need to
live, conform ourselves, behave. All the Roman laws, bro. We are Africans. Why are we being sent to jail by overseas laws?
I remember Jay-Z, Zuma, when they refused to arrest al-Bashir.
Yeah, that nigga is gangster.
There was an order from the International Court of the ICC.
Yeah.
And then they were saying al-Bashir has been doing so many things that are against human rights
and blah, blah, blah.
And then he needs to be arrested. There's no way he stays.
What?
Why didn't they go and arrest him there?
Yes. Wait, bro. You know, when we talk about people who are committing human rights and all that stuff, bro, they are not arresting Tony Blair. They are not arresting Hillary Clinton. These guys, they committed. Let's just talk about Tony Blair. He actually stated live that was it Afghanistan. George W. Bush, you know, even Tony Blair, he said they send soldiers to Afghanistan, claiming Afghanistan got weapons of mass destructions. They killed a lot of people, and then they didn't find the weapons of mass destructions. And then, okay, he came to on stage, live public, and said, no, we didn't find any weapons of mass destructions. But you killed a lot of people now.
What's the ICC saying about what's the ICC saying about
you know what Julius Malema said? He said, I think it was the United States saying if Putin comes to SA, they should arrest Putin. He was like, no, guys.
An order from the IEC, as I remember. I think it was before the BRICS. There was a BRICS summit last year, if not last year.
And then he came. Was like, no, guys. Why do you feel the need to dictate our actions? Why should you tell us what we must do? Don't we know what is right from wrong?
And don't you guys know where Putin is?
Exactly. You guys go arrest Putin. And you know what he said? He said Putin helped us during apartheid. Yeah. They were giving, Russia instead of Putin. Russia was giving us weapons to come and fight the apartheid regime. Now, if Putin comes to us and asks for guns, I will arm that guy. I'm a black child and I'm looking at this and saying, the guy, when I'm in trouble, who gives me guns to fight back, when he's in trouble, I'm going to help him out too. That's just life, bro.
That's how it is, man.
So now, with the GNU name, ANC, you're a Juta. It's not a GNU. I think they're all back
that's a grand coalition between the ANC and the DA. And what I like is there's starting to be conflict between the ANC and the EFF. I mean, the ANC and the DA. Sure. Because now, when it comes to cabinet ministerial positions, they're not agreeing as to who's supposed to get what. Because the DA made a statement to say, this is what we want. They wanted the Minister of Finance. They wanted Minister of Home Affairs and some other portfolios.
Sure.
And then now the ANC, those are the big major portfolios within the cabinet.
Yeah.
Do you give them all of that? Or maybe you bargain? And now the ANC said, we welcome all the other parties to the government of national unity.
Yeah.
The other parties, you know what they did?
No.
They joined the government of national government of national unity,
sure,
just to disturb the arrangement that was already existing between the ANC and the DA. So now you have to compromise certain positions to those parties based on the percentage they bring into the government of national unity. The DA, whatever arrangement that existed before cannot exist because we can remove the DA out of the government of national unity,
but they can't,
and still have a majority within those government of national unity parties without the DA.
No, I think that's what the ANC is trying to do by involving all other small parties.
Limiting the power of the DA.
But that's what the DA wants to do. It wants to limit the power of ANC but no, you know what? Because if the ANC wants to the ANC has to talk to the DA on what party must come in. The DA can look at, okay, these guys are closing into 60% without us. No, we don't want this guy. We don't. So the DA is a cock blocker there.
It's a cock blocker.
The DA is a cock blocker.
Other parties coming in, they're unblocking the cock.
Mara, as long as they don't reach 60. Now, I think the DA is playing a smart game. They want to play the face of a GNU Mara. They won't allow that the ANC brings more parties that will give it party.
Joining, the ANC can run out of the GNU with the DA, the agreement, the initial agreement they had with the DA. They can run out and say, Pella, we still have a majority with the other parties. Why then do we need the DA inside the GNU?
I think